Welcome to episode 20. Can't believe it. Episode 20 of the all-wheel drive Mustang project. A lot has happened since the last episode. To be honest, a little bit more than it's going to be covered in this video. This video is going to focus on the modifications required to fit the diff in the front of the car. Basically, the little a pilot that gets pressed into it, and the actual remachining of the side of the differential to make it fit next to the block. So there's a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Here's a CAD model of the diff I shared with you in the last episode, which kind of shows the basic idea. First, basically the whole side of the differential where the cross tube normally bolts onto was machined as skinny as possible, basically until the diff cover bolts almost didn't exist. And then an aluminum spud, the red part in the picture, was machined and pressed in to create a pilot to go and interface with the oil pan. And then lastly, a step is machined into the side of the differential and actually through the little spud to basically create clearance for the oil pan rail that goes around the block. This may seem backwards at first, but basically the first step was machining a fixture plate that bolted to the surface I actually wanted to machine away, so I could flip the differential over and mount that to the milling machine so I could actually machine the opposite side of the diff flat. So then I could basically then flip it back over again and clamp it to the table and know it's all square. The next step was adding the 4 countersinks for the screws or for the bolts to allow this whole plate to sit flat on the table of the mill and with the differential above it. This makes it pretty obvious. So the 4 bolts that basically attach this plate to the side of the diff I eventually want to machine, but now I can bolt this whole plate to the mill and proceed to flatten the other side. This is an as-cast surface, so it wasn't a good datum to put on the mill directly. So by basically machining this off flat, now I have a good square surface for machining the side I actually care about. I didn't program any of this in. This is all just hand done. It took about, I don't know, 30 or 40 thousandths off the surface just to get it flat. Once again, to have something square to the world when I was machining the other side, the side I actually care about. The surface came out pretty clean, and now I can move on to the next step, which is to machine a vertical fixture plate. So I got one of these 90-degree cast iron fixture plates at an auction a while back, and so basically I'm flattening the back off to drill a couple holes in it that will then bolt to the flange or where the diff cover normally goes on a differential to keep it all solid in the milling machine. Here I repurposed the fixture I had made for the spindles and machined it flat and kind of made a slot to bolt to one of the other mounting holes on the differential, once again to try to lock it in position when I machine the surface I actually care about. All that was to get to this point. You can see how it's quite rigidly mounted. There's one clamp going inside the diff. I got the vertical right angle fixture and then that converted aluminum part in the front to hold it all very solid. And this worked better than I could have imagined. It was quite stiff when all was said and done, and allowed me to modify that surface you can see there. I ended up with just a couple of thousandths out of parallel with all that work, and I was quite shocked. And here I'm just using the miracle of the probing to find the center of this so I can set up my machining operation. I said this in the last video where I used this, but this is a game changer. The next challenge was trying to keep all the chips out of the diff, so I put a aluminum plate on the top hole there with some clay and then all kinds of duct tape to try to keep the swarf and all the chips from inside the diff. Finally, actually making some chips. I did all this by hand. I didn't program it in, and of course the cast iron of the differential housing machined like butter, and it made pretty quick progress of the whole thing. Part turned out great. You can see here how I tried to go as deep as possible, and basically as deep as I could without breaking into the threads of the diff cover. One of these holes goes away no matter what, but the other one I wanted to keep for support. Hold on, I want to interrupt this video for a quick announcement here. I want to do a little experiment with the YouTube algorithm. It seems pretty obvious that I have about 400 or 500 avid followers, and yet I have over 3,000 subscribers. And I have a theory that YouTube isn't even showing the videos to all my subscribers in their feeds. And so, doing a little internet searching, it seems to be that a lot of that has to do with comments and thumbs up and of course things like that. So I'm hoping my 400 to 500 avid followers will give me a thumbs up. My videos usually only get about 100 thumbs up, which is actually pretty good based on my search, or my research, but I want this video to get 400 thumbs up. So give me a thumbs up. Back to the program. Next step was machining the little spud that gets pressed into the diff. I wanted to press it in before machining the step. That's clearance for the oil pan. I froze the insert to cool it off and make it easier to press into the differential housing. It went in pretty easy. I had about a thou and a half interference. But just to make sure, I also Loctited it in with some retaining compound, some green Loctite, and it's never going to come out now. And then proceeded to once again manually machine the clearance for the oil pan rail of the block. And of course the cast iron aluminum is pretty easy to machine. You can see I actually went deep enough to basically remove one of the diff cover bolts. That was per plan. Here's another good angle of the completed diff. You can see how the spud got pressed in flat, and I'm calling it the spud. It's a pilot to get it centered in the cross tube of the oil pan. And then here's the clearance for the pan rail, and then it's basically good to go now. So I've added the two studs. These are Loctited in, and then two nuts basically hold this to the oil pan. I'll show that in a second. But now this is all basically good to go. So here it is actually bolted to the oil pan. I'm giving you a sneak peek, but I've made pretty good progress on the oil pan, which will be the next episode. This looks a little rusty here, but it's actually been metal prepped from preparation for some Pour 15. But anyways, you can see here why I clearanced the diff. I wanted to suck it in as close as possible to the block to make this whole thing as narrow as possible for, I think, pretty obvious reasons for CV joints and everything else. So I cut it really close, and the diff cover will also, which I'm custom making, will basically just go right around here, and there'll be just enough for some sealer. And then you can kind of see here too, then the two bolts that were still left, I put studs in them, and which you could see before, and these two nuts hold it together, and that's just one of the ways the diff will be bolted, you know, to the engine. There'll be the diff cover itself will bolt to the motor mount, which is not quite fully designed, and then there'll be a bracket that bolts to one of these two bolts here, these little factory holes that were in the diff. I guess I should have mentioned, this obviously is all upside down because I'm working on the oil pan and not the way it would be in the engine. So this is actually, of course, the bottom. You can also see here, while it was in the mill with all of the fixturing, I took the mill, I took an end mill to it and started cutting some of the extra material away. And actually my plan is, before it goes in the car for good, I'm going to flapper wheel as much of the excess material away to save weight and of course just make it look better. And then I'll paint it, you know, pour 15 it black or whatever, and get rid of all of the extra ribs and stuff that don't really do much, all this flash from when it was cast. But anyways, that's in the future. But as you can see, it fits on the oil pan. Everything's good. So besides the cosmetics of grind and paint, the diff is now good to go. I'm giving you a little sneak peek. The oil pan is almost done, and then I'm going to move on to the custom CNC diff cover, which will cover all this up and also get tied into the motor mount. Well, that's a wrap on episode 20 of the all-wheel drive Mustang project. Like I kind of hinted at the beginning, a lot more has happened than this video covered in the last month or so. The oil pan is basically done, and so is the oil pickup tube and a few other things that I'm going to try to cover in the next video. But I'm kind of in thrash mode again. I found I have to basically balance making videos versus making progress. I am filming everything or to the best of my abilities, but I'm making some tough calls, and in the free time I do have, I'm working on the car. Because I have kind of a self-imposed hard date here to get it back on the wheels. And there's a big car show in mid-July here in Minnesota that I really want to go to. Hopefully with the car in all-wheel drive mode, but best case all-wheel drive mode, worst case on the wheels with the front suspension, with the oil pan, with the diff in the car, and maybe no jack shaft and axles. Maybe some Bluetooth axles, as they say on the internet. But I'm hoping for the best that I get all that done. And that means some serious work in the next month and a half or 6 weeks or so. So if the videos don't come out until after that date, don't worry. I'm not giving up on the project. I'm not ghosting like a lot of internet projects you see. I am just focusing on getting it on the wheels. So we'll call that a wrap. And once again, I appreciate you watching. Any questions or comments, put them below. I read them all. Don't always respond, but I do read them all. And I appreciate all the comments, and for sure, thumbs up. Thank you.